You know, one of the most interesting things, my granddaddy had one wish in life, late in life. One wish. This is late in life. He wanted to preach one more time. Billy Graham wanted to preach one more time. And he would come to the Cove. We took his old pulpit, and think of this pulpit, but with a pulpit that has sides on it. This is more like a lectern. But think of you got a face up front, face on the sides, and you would have this slanted board just like I have here. And and this is where he would put his Bible and his notes. We took that out and we put a 32-inch TV. And we put his notes electronically on the screen so he could read his notes, make it real big. He was having eye problems, macular degeneracy. But he wanted to preach one more time, but he came down here to the Cove a number of times to practice and practice and practice and just couldn't do it. His eyes, he still couldn't see it. And it was frustrating because he had one more sermon to preach. And all he wanted to do was to preach one more time. 3 years ago, he preached one more time. From the other side of heaven. He did it because the news were putting his sermons all over the news. For about 10 days, there was nothing but Billy Graham sermons all over the news. Just sermon after sermon after sermon after sermon. He was preaching even though he was dead physically. And this is kind of like a little bit like my granddaddy here, in the sense that Samuel was dead, but his words were still having an impact on another generation. In other words, even at the present time, they were taking effect.